All right, we are episode one, the casual crossover podcast with Mike and Alex here. Today we just got our play-in seedings, so let's just start with that. So in the West we got Lakers versus Warriors, 7 versus 8, and then we got Grizzlies versus Spurs. So let's start with Lakers Warriors, Mike.
I think Lakers will get it. Despite the injuries problem that they have with LeBron and AD, I think they will just get by and they'll make it to 7 seed. And then Warriors, they're probably like the most dangerous team right now in the playoff, in the whole playoff. With Steph going crazy, Draymond, kind of back to himself, no more triple single. So, and then Andrew Wiggins.
Two-way Wigs.
Wiggins Island, right? Wiggins Island. But yeah, I feel like I really enjoy watching him this year. I mean, he's still quite inconsistent, but you can tell that he's actually enjoying basketball now this year. Like he's actually like showing some passion. I don't know if you guys noticed when he was playing for the Wolves. Just feels like he's really, casual. Like very nonchalant sometimes when you see him play. But yeah, like I feel like Warriors will be a really dangerous team for as the 8th seed.
Okay, so you're taking Alex. You're taking Lakers as well.
Yeah, I'm taking Lakers as well. As much as I think the Warriors are a very, very good team, they just don't have the front court depth to guard Anthony Davis, Drummond, and Marc Gasol.
Yeah, the thing I don't even think Gasol's gonna play in that game. If it's a 1-game series, right? AD, I think they're healthy. I think LeBron, AD, they're healthy. Yeah, I mean, you gotta. I think Lakers are gonna win too, but gosh, it would be the most ironic thing if Curry and the Warriors eliminate LeBron from the playoffs. That would be a wonderful story.
that would be a crazy story.
But they won't be, right? Though, aren't they? Because then Lakers can still
they'll play
second.
Like they'll play the winners of the Grizzlies and the Spurs. Yeah.
Right, and then nobody want to play the Lakers 1 versus 8. Like, I honestly don't think it's a bad idea, for the teams for 7 or 8 seed. Because think about it. Okay, who's first seed right now? Like Utah? Is Utah first?
Yeah. Utah Jazz.
Right. So Utah is kind of like, I don't want to say they're sweating, but it's kind of like, man, you don't want to face either one of them.
No, you don't. You don't want to play either one of them. No.
Like, I mean, Utah might prefer facing the Warriors because, like, Warriors,
but they got beat twice by the Warriors recently.
Yeah, but I just feel, I don't know. It'll be interesting, but I just feel like Utah is like, their 3-pointer. Is it still gonna work in the playoffs without Donovan Mitchell? Is this that kind of thing that you want to see? And then Rudy Gobert, like, I mean, you guys all saw those like video package of him getting crossed up by like, was it Devin Booker?
Booker and Curry, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, he's like a defensive player of the year, but he's getting, like, when he gets switched to pick and roll, like Utah is in, like, they're in a risk. Yeah, I just feel like Utah don't want to play either one of them. So I feel like, Warriors and the Lakers, for them, I don't think they mind losing either one of them. I don't think they mind losing, because then I feel like they will probably come out on top if they have to play the winner of 9 seed and 10 seed. So yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm rooting for the Warriors. Their bench players are playing so well, right?
Jordan Poole,
holy. And JTA.
Yeah.
These guys are like their bench squad is doing so well. And then Steph Curry just went crazy today, right?
Yeah,
and
46.
Toscano Anderson, right? New nickname, right? What did they call him? Like, what, the little Draymond, or was it what did they call him today? I think I remember they were saying something. They call Toscano Anderson the little Draymond, right? Because he was doing like pretty much the same stuff that Draymond does. I don't know if you guys saw it, but yeah.
Yeah, I was hearing.
Shoots a little bit better.
What was that, Alex?
He shoots a little bit better than Draymond right now.
Yeah.
Oh, he probably does.
Yeah. They were saying JTA's the new Iggy.
Oh, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that.
Iggy with a 3. Yeah, Iggy with a
Yo,
3.
Matt, hey, Alex, Max Kellerman's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna take JTA now.
I want JTA.
Oh man.
Yeah, but Jordan Poole, he's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, like since that
Definitely.
G League bubble he had, like wow, he's just exploded. He's kind of like I think next year he's gonna be like that Jordan Clarkson kind of player.
I hope so.
Right?
He's
got the green light to just shoot. So
yeah.
I like his confidence, to be honest. Like from like just him like able to be like, you know, his press conference was like, oh, like I've been used to taking these like, you know, last minute shot, last second shot. Yeah, it's just his confidence is like, you know, it's really promising. I mean, I mean, he still have those like weird, crazy games where like he go like, you know, he hits the first couple and then he just starts shooting, and then he just breaks like 5 or 6 in a row, and then you see like kind of that hesitation. But then yeah, he's definitely made a lot of improvement this year.
all right, so you guys both are going Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, one game on the line. Can Steph get hot? Single-handedly carry this team?
I think Steph can get hot. I think he can definitely get hot. He probably will get hot. He might even just score, 40-something points. But the thing is, there's too many instances this season where Steph does that, but they still don't get the win.
Hey, if you guys can help me with this one, I remember last time Warriors played the Lakers, didn't they get blown out by like, was it like blown out by like 20 or something? Like, I need to take a look.
Yeah, they got destroyed. The first game they were getting blown out, and then they came back to win it.
Oh yeah,
and then
they did.
I think the most recent game they got spanked like 30, 40 points, something like that.
Yeah.
No, and I think the problem that might happen is like you can. It's like how we used to talk like off the call, right? Like you can let Steph go crazy, go like 30 points, 40 points, but then if he doesn't have any support from his like the rest of the players, then it's like then they still lose by 20, 30. Like that's the part how they get blown out on the second game, I think.
Yeah.
It's like you like LeBron and AD can be like, okay, yeah, let Steph hit like go bonkers, and then but you keep Wiggins with like 15 points, and then like Draymond triple single, then it's like, oh, game over. Like nobody else is gonna score, right? Because that's the part, right? That's the part where like everybody's like, oh, we miss Clay. That's where it comes from. It's like you let Steph go for 30, but it's okay because everybody else is just not gonna hit any shots, and then the scoreline's gonna go like 120 to like 90 or something. It's like it's like nothing. There's nothing else you can do, right?
Well, now you got Jordan Poole's hot streak, right? That's an X factor. He's got a clear role now. He's playing more minutes. Bazemore is pretty decent.
Bazemore.
Yo, me and Alex went crazy that game, man.
Which one?
That one game.
That one game we were so angry, man.
He missed free throws? What did he do? I think that was the game he missed free throws.
It wasn't him that passed up the open layup and tried to kick it out for a 3.
Oh, no, that was
Damian Lee. That was Damian Lee.
Damian Lee, yeah.
That was Damian Lee.
Yeah, Damian Lee. That was like one of the worst plays I've seen. Like,
it wasn't it. It was a game that where like he was like they were like Warriors was winning.
Oh, I remember clearly now. He let up a wide open 3 for I don't remember the game.
No,
but
he fouled Beal. And then it was a 4-point play or something, and they lost the Wizards.
No. It was even before.
It wasn't
that.
okay. It was before that.
It was before that.
It was some game that like he was doing really well, and then like he picked up a tech, right? He would pick up a technical, and then like it was just like after that technical, it was like his mentality was just all negative, and then like yeah, he gave up a three just before the I think it was the Boston game. It was the Celtic game.
Boston. He gave it out to
Yeah.
Marcus Smart. I remember now.
Yeah,
It was a ball
'cause, like,
fake. Marcus Smart gave a ball fake, and then he ran towards, I think, either Jason Tatum or someone else, and he never
Yeah.
tried to recover and just let Marcus Smart stand there for like 3 seconds, and he took
Yeah.
the three, and that was a dagger for the
Ah.
Warriors.
it had a
All right.
yeah, it was a you should have watched that game, Clark. That game was a good game to watch, but it was just so frustrating because it was just Bazemore and Lee was just constantly doing some dumb stuff, and then it just like they lost the game by like 5 or something, Alex. And then we were like throwing our remotes and stuff. We're like, oh my god, I don't want to watch this Warriors team anymore.
Yeah, they had some pretty bad games this season, but recently,
it's
like
up and down season.
recently, the bench have really stepped up, which makes all the difference. All right, gosh, yeah, you guys are going to Lakers. I'm gonna go with Warriors with one game.
Wow.
Warriors one game, and it'll be the best narrative if they kick LeBron to 8th seed and they take the 7th seed. Yeah. Okay. So 9-10. So we got Grizzlies versus Spurs. What do you guys think?
Alex first.
I would personally pick the Spurs just because I think Spurs got a lot of veterans on the team.
Yeah, they have the experience.
Like DeMar DeRozan, you have Rudy Gay, you have Patty Mills. Like these guys, a lot of people might think that they're washed up. Like if you ask them to, hey, give me one game or give me 2 games, like these guys can get it done for you, you know?
I think I'm taking the Spurs as well. I mean, I watched the Grizzlies game today against the Warriors. I think Grizzlies have a bright future. Like their team is like really stacked. I think Ja Moran, Jaren Jackson Jr. They're gonna be really good in the future. But I just feel like the mentality. I guess it's like just a young, like they're still really young, right? So I feel like their mentality is still kind of like their mentality. I would say they're like sometimes get a little bit too negative when they're down, and then they can't pick themselves up. And I don't think the Grizzly team have like a lot of veteran leadership, right? I believe.
Well, they have Valanciunas and Kyle Anderson, slow mo.
You can't call him a leader though. Like Clark, like I mean he's been in the league, but I mean you don't call him like a veteran leadership, right? I feel like Memphis would benefit from having like a Patty Mills, right? Just for someone to like calm down the youngster. Ja Moran and like Jared Jackson. But yeah, so I feel like Grizzlies, they probably won't able to make it this year. Spurs will get in just purely on experience. Like
what do you mean?
Team...
Wait, but they still gotta play the losers of Lakers.
Yeah,
Warriors series.
but who? Okay, let's be real, guys. Who's actually picking Grizzlies over Warriors or the Lakers though? If Memphis gets in, right?
That is true.
Let's be real, right? I mean, I'm just being honest. You guys know me.
Hey, Clark is about to pick the Spurs or the Memphis Grizzlies over the Lakers.
I like I like the Grizzlies. I like them for one game. If it's a season series, I don't think I think they have a chance against the Spurs if it's a season series. This will be like, because they didn't play the bubble last year. I mean, they didn't play the playoffs, so they have no experience. But I think the young guys can do one game. I think they need one big game from Ja Morant over the aging Spurs, right? But the problem is their defense. Like, I just think they get exposed defensively. Their rotations are so bad. Like, you got, other than like Brooks, like you saw today, like once Brooks got out, like there's they had no way of defending off the ball. Like John Moran was like
Yeah.
non-existent.
Yeah.
He's like a liability on defense, which is a bit surprising because he's so athletic and fast. I
Mhm.
thought he would be better defensively, but it's just like the IQ, right? Like he didn't even try to guard Curry at all today.
He was getting cooked left and right today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are going Spurs. I'm gonna go with Grizzlies.
Hey,
I'm gonna
but
go with Grizzlies.
on another note, though, if we're talking about play and experience, Memphis Grizzlies got more experience than any of these teams in the play-in right now. They played the play-in last year. They're the only team that's still in the play-in. From last
Oh, that's
year's
true. Oh,
play-in.
wait, yeah, they did play in the play-ins.
Yeah,
They lost to the Blazers, right?
yeah.
Oh,
I
That
think
was the
yeah.
only play-in that we had last year in the bubble.
Okay. No, I like the Grizzlies versus Spurs, and Grizzlies versus Lakers or Grizzlies versus Warriors. Like, if it's one game, I don't know. The young guys can.
Like, that's why I don't think that's why I was going back to that 7 to 8 game. I honestly don't think they're sweating too much, like either Lakers or Warriors.
But it's all it does. It's just it only takes one.
No, but
it only takes one game, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but
if it's
it's
a
like,
one game, if it's a one game situation, it's like, how do you prepare to guard LeBron, or how do you prepare to guard Steph Curry for one game, right? Like,
no, but
when
no,
it's
but
that
that's
type
why,
of situation, I feel like whoever has the best player on court will probably win.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm taking the Spurs though. The
Spurs?
Spurs is probably
Yeah.
gonna make it.
All right, Alex with the Spurs too.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the East side, we got Celtics versus Wizards, so 7 and 8. But the Celtics, they lose Jaylen Brown for the season, so they got just Tatum. I'm going with the Wizards. They have Westbrook and Beal. Like, for one game, like, that's scary.
I'm picking the Celtics. I'm picking the Wizards too.
You're picking the Wizards too.
I mean, as much as I don't like Westbrook, I think they're in the same boat as like the Warriors, right? They've been doing really well for the past I would say even the last month, right? They've been like just winning every game that they need to like make it, right? And then they went from being the bottom of the league to like the 8th seed right now. What are they ranking? Like the 8th seed, right? So right, as much as I don't like Westbrook, like, you give him credit, right? It's like, damn, this guy just been carrying that team.
Yeah, he's
and then Celtic is like, the opposite of the equation. It's like free falling and then losing games when they should be winning them. And then it just feels like, towards the last I don't know if you guys notice it, like towards the last maybe 5 or 6, it just feels like they're like, cruising. They're not really trying to make up any ground, not trying to really do much to correct anything. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm in the play-in. Let's just like, let's see what's gonna happen in that one game, and then like, oh, if we win, we win. If we don't, like, oh, we'll pack it.
I think they know. I think once Jaylen Brown was out, they know they're not going anywhere this year.
No.
Right, and even when they had him healthy, they were still underachieving.
They were. They looked good for like maybe like the first like 2-3 weeks, but even right from the get-go, the whole team they were just struck by like COVID and injuries, and then it was just like they didn't have the time to play together. Like, if you're thinking about Kemba, Tatum, and Brown, like these 2 guys, I don't think they played together that much this season at all.
Yeah, and surprisingly, Tristan Thompson, like, what has he done this year? Like, honestly, what value has he added to the Celtics? I don't know.
He's been. I mean, I feel like we can't expect too much from Tristan Thompson anymore these days. So if we're coming from that perspective, he's been okay.
I thought he'd be a better veteran and bring that toughness and energy. He's
he's
still a young guy. Like he's not like washed up. He's still young.
how old is he this year? He's like 20.
Yeah, I think he's still in his 20s,
He should be in his 20s.
which is crazy. Like,
Yeah, he should be in his 20s.
Oh, he's 30.
oh,
He's 30.
he's 30.
He's 30 this year.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
30.
Still,
Yeah.
like that's still your prime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't know what that acquisition was overhyped to what.
I just feel like his style just doesn't work with the Celtics.
Well, he's just got to play defense and like rebound.
Well,
that's.
I mean, I did watch a lot of like Boston games this year. I mean, I'll be honest, but I just feel like he's not. I think he's not quick enough to play like guard play, right? I guess he was like he plays like the traditional plays, right? Like like he's down low, grab those rebounds.
Yeah.
Take it, put it back out to like your guards, and like let them restart the offense, and then like maybe get some like alley-oops, get some like easy mismatches in the inside, and then that's it, right? But I feel like Boston, it's because it's Tatum and Brown, right? So it's more like they're gonna take majority of the shots. There's no really mismatch for them for Celtics. So for him, it's for us like looking at it from the outside, just like yeah, he's not really like he won't able to contribute too much because it's just everything is like outside, right, on the perimeter. So right, and then defensively he's like undersized, right? So like Joel Embiid, when he faced like all the elite teams, it's just like now like they're just gonna take him outside, and then they pop threes, and then they're much faster than him, so he's like a liability, unless he's facing like a slower, big, right? So
yeah, but who else has been
how many slower bigs are there out there in the league right now?
None.
I can only think of like DeAndre Jordan on the Nets that he could match up with and be like, okay.
Yeah, but he's undersized against Jordan.
Exactly.
Who was Robert Williams, Time Lord?
Time Lord.
Okay, it's been what, 3 or 4 years? He hasn't. Has he improved?
He's
in 3 or 4 years.
He's been good for them this season, but I don't know if he's good enough for them.
Well, they said Danny Ainge said it's going to be significant change, right, this offseason. So maybe Brad Stevens, like that might be a change. Who knows?
I would doubt that. I would doubt they wanna. Didn't they just resign him?
No.
I thought they resigned him.
But okay, so
I just want to ask you guys one thing.
Yeah.
I just want to ask you guys one thing. Like, do you guys see in any scenario where Celtics can take this win from Washington, just because of Beal's injury? Like, I don't know if you guys saw today. He kind of pulled his hamstrings again. Again? Yeah, it was like a little like he started hobbling a little bit, but then he finished the game. But it's like I don't think he's nowhere close to 100% for sure.
Okay. Okay. Do you guys know
go off for one game?
The status for Hachimura? Is he fully healthy?
Hachimura should be fully healthy. I don't see.
I think didn't he play? Like I thought he's already back. Right?
Yeah, he's back.
Hachimura is healthy. Hachimura is definitely healthy. Yeah.
All right. If Jason Tatum, if he goes crazy for that game, he can do it. But I think Westbrook's just been on a tear.
Yeah.
And what's funny is I remember in the middle of the season we had this conversation. We're like, is Westbrook ever going to be an all-star again? And then like, holy crap! The last 2 months he's just beast mode. So
he's healthy again.
Yeah, I think I counted him out too early.
I felt like when Beal was injured, did Beal was out for like a couple games, right? I think maybe in March, or was it in April, right? That's when like Westbrook had to like take the team like on his shoulder and just like lead the team, right? I think that stretch, I think that might have helped him to kind of be like, hey, like he's like the leader now, right? He have to like kind of take the team on, and I think that kind of like gave him that like throwback to like OKC, right? When he was like MVP, like, oh, okay, I'm the man now. I have to like, do everything now. And then I think that kind of helped him, kind of like opened up his like, his mindset to be like, oh, I can't just like, give the ball to Beal and just like kind of wait. Like I need to like, contribute, do everything. And then I think that helped him. And then I feel like this injury, okay, if Beal, I didn't see the injury today, but if Beal is actually not going to be 100%, I feel like that would help the Wizards on that game because Beal might just be like, he can just like kind of like hide in the corner and like taking threes instead of having to create as well. Because then it would just be like Westbrook create, and then Beal can just be like waiting at the corner taking those like 3-pointers. Because then Celtics would be like they normally would be focusing on Beal, but now because Beal is like kind of like not really moving that well, then their focus might be like just shifting to Westbrook, and that will open up everybody else. And hey, you never know, right? You kind of like lessen Beal's workload and let Westbrook take that workload, which he can clearly do.
Yeah. Bertans. Let's talk about Bertans for a second.
All right, take the lead.
He's been much better, right?
I don't know. I'm asking. I just know he signed his massive deal in the past offseason and he just like disappeared. So
I wouldn't say he disappeared. Is he worth the money? Maybe not.
Wasn't he also injured for like during the middle of the season, like for a bit?
I think for a stretch he was injured, but
do you think he's gonna be a factor though? Is he getting playing time? And do you think he'll make a difference?
He's definitely a big factor for them. I think I've watched enough like Washington games this season, like especially like tight, like clutch situations. Like he's always gonna be the one that's gonna hit that 1-3 for them.
All right.
when they need it.
All right. The last play-in. So we got Hornets versus Pacers.
Pacers is a mess. Let's be real.
Pacers. I think I'm just gonna say right here, like I think they're done. Like
Pacers are done.
I think they're done. I think like Hornets is probably gonna take it from them, just because I think they're super hungry.
Pacers, but you got Sabonis playing like out of his mind.
I don't think Brogdon is playing right now. I think that is a big hit on the team.
And you have Levert. Okay, Hornets have zero. True. They have zero experience. No, sorry.
Terry
Rozier.
Rozier. Well, they still have what's that guy? Cody Zeller.
Cody Zeller. Damn,
he's been playing. He's been playing for a long time, man. Like he's not a great player, but I think he's solid. The fact that
he's got to deal with Sabonis. He cannot handle Sabonis.
Hey, I remember watching a highlight of a Hornets game. Aren't they saying that Cody Zeller is like what did they call it? The best, the slowest alley-oop dunker in the league or something. I think they were saying something about because he used to be like a dunker, right? Cody Zeller. I remember he used to be a dunker. Yeah, and then I think one of the broadcast commentary, there was like, yeah, he's like the slowest alley-oop dunker in the league because he's been playing in the league for so long, right? But yeah, I don't know. I feel like
LaMelo. LaMelo, and you got Rozier, and you got Miles Bridges. Right?
Don't count out like I know Hayward's not gonna be back, but Hayward provides like leadership for them. Biyombo provides leadership for them.
Yeah.
I like them a lot. I like the Hornets a lot. Even though LaMelo hasn't been exactly the same ever since he broke his wrist. Like once he came back, it was like a little bit different. But he's not playing as well. But I think if we're talking about one game, like they play so fast. Like I don't know if anyone can keep up with them.
So the Hornets are kind of like the Grizzlies of the East, right? They're super young. They're very inexperienced. Yeah. Everything kind of relies on their point guard. to get going.
Mhm.
So you guys are going with Hornets. Mike, who are you going with?
Well, I feel like Pacers with their like management problems, all those like altercation with the assistant coach and then with the player. I just feel like that team is just, they just don't look good right now. Like
Yeah,
even though
okay.
it could be something like it could be just a role player with the assistant coach, but it's just like there's like I feel like there's bigger issues that we're not seeing.
Yeah.
Like is the coach like? Because then they were saying I was reading some article online. It's like, oh, like is the coach, does the coach still have the support of the player?
Yeah.
Like, and I was talking with Alex on our own like a couple of weeks ago. We were like, or like last week, we were like, it's just like, why is the assistant coach kind of like going over the head coach to have that altercation? It's just like why didn't the head coach intervene? It's just like what's going on there? Like how do you let like a role player who only comes out on like during garbage time pop a three and then like can tell the assistant coach to shut up? Like how? Like how do you?
The key? Sorry, not to mean to cut you off, but the key right now is not that he's just a role player. This guy's a rookie.
Yeah.
This is the first year in
But
the
I mean, like
league, yo.
even like it just doesn't sound. It just doesn't even look right. Look good at all. Just from the outside looking in, and like how are you gonna expect your team to like kind of like unite together to be like to kind of give you that one game? Like. I know they have like, and they're like what the Pacers like the 9th seed, right? So yeah, this one they only have one chance, but if they can't even get their team together, like there's no hope for them. So and then like Alex and you like Clark, you're saying like Hornets, man, they're like super young, super hungry, just like what you guys said about Memphis, right? One game you play with you have LaMelo, you have Rozier, you have Miles Bridges. Yeah, I feel like it's like it's game over for Pacers. It's just
Okay. So say the Hornets win, they gotta play the losers of Celtics and Wizards, right? So who do you like in that scenario? So Hornets versus the Celtics or the Wizards? Do you think they have a chance against any of those teams?
I feel like that matchup will be like super entertaining to watch because it's just offense, right? It's just attack both sides, right? Like like all three teams is just like super offensive. Defensive wise pretty leaky. Like they're it'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch, but I think they have a better chance beating the Celtics than the Wizards. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun if the Hornets somehow like squeeze into the 8th spot. Like that would be fun for them in the future of that team, right? First time in the playoffs in however many years, and they play the Sixers if they make that 8th. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll find out on Tuesday and Wednesday. So you guys got Lakers, I got Warriors. You guys got the Spurs, I got the Grizzlies. Are we all in agreement for the Wizards over Celtics?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
And we're all in agreement. Hornets over Pacers.
That's correct.
Okay. So that should be a wrap for episode 1 for Casual Crossover Podcast. Okay, so we'll check back in a few days and see how things go. Okay.
All right. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.